reputable journals, including Scopus Index International Journals. He has worked extensively in the specialized areas of digital instrumentation and measurements, Internet of Things, energy management system, energy metering, and bio research, including the Nigerian Communication Commission. He is the chair of Nigeria Institute of Electrical Electronics Engineer, NIEEE, on the chapter. Prof is presently the Director of Information and Communication Technology at Chukwuemeka University, having served as the Director of Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office. He is also the Associate Dean of the School of Postgraduate Studies, Uli Campus. He has held various other administrative positions in the university, including Head of Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering, Associate Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, and Faculty of Postgraduate Program Coordinator. He has chaired various departmental, faculty, and university committees. He is also the current president of Awka, Chukwuemeka University, Bahrain, Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society. Beyond the academic cycles, he is a member of the Legion of Mary of the Catholic Church and currently the president of the Seat of Wisdom Presidium of the Legion of Mary at St. Joseph Parish, unizik site, Awka. As a community leader, he holds several positions at the town and village level, including presently the president of Akudo age grade, Umaede village, Ibuku. He is also the current secretary of the Ibuku Development Union, Awka branch. He is also currently the national secretary of the Old Boys Association of Boys Secondary School, Ibuku. He belongs to various other organizations in the church and every community he finds himself. Professor Ilo is happily married with 4 children. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, let us welcome the second speaker, Professor John Paul, to the high table, to the podium. Thank you very much.
Very good. Ably represented. Thank you very much, sir. The chairman of this great occasion, I want to apologize for being a bit late. I've already missed the first lecture, which I believe I would have learned 1 or 2 things from that. I would like to stand on the existing protocol, but before that, I would like to specially recognize my lecturer, one of
the person of Engineer Professor C.C. Okizie, who is the chairman of this committee organizing this very timely workshop. Please, let's put our hands together for her. I am proud to be one of the products. You have produced professors, and I am standing here as one of them. And wherever I go, I hold you in very high esteem.
Because whatever we are doing today, whatever we have learned, we are all built on the foundation you gave us. And for that, I am thankful and I appreciate you so much. I will go straight to my presentation. The theme of this presentation remains harnessing artificial intelligence for transformational education and community impact. Under this theme, I've been asked to speak on responsible use of AI in teaching, research, administration, and community development. I've just been warned that I have a few minutes to make my presentation. I will try my best to confine myself into that time. First of all, I want to warn you that I am not an AI expert, neither am I an AI developer. I'm just a bloody user of AI.
You may want to put your hands together for me about that. And so, I will also confess that I have used AI
to prepare part of what I'm presenting to you. So that provides a leeway for me. You know, if you are using AI, most times AI will warn you that AI makes mistakes. And so, before
that if at any time in this presentation you consider some of the things I'm saying a mistake, please do not blame me. You are going to blame AI. You are going to blame AI for that. It's okay. I think that's on a lighter note. Where's the screen? I hope okay, good.
The executive summary of my presentation analyze learning, accelerate research, enhance operations, and promote inclusive development. Of course, we had to take a little bit of look on ethical concerns about the use of AI, such as data privacy, algorithmic bias, and equitable access. And we ended with some call to actions recommending a guide to policy makers, educators, and institutional leaders to ensure that AI serves not as replacement of humanity, this is key, but as a catalyst for inclusive and sustainable development. So this, in a nutshell, is what I am discussing with you today. Introduction. The 21st century, as we have it, has seen unprecedented level of technological advancement. Because with AI at the forefront, every innovation you come across now must always have something about AI in it. Such that if you are disregarding AI, the ship will leave you behind. That's the stark reality. I used to be one of those not interested in AI. You know, if you're a supervisor and you know a particular student that struggles with writing good English, you ask a question in the class, the person responds with a statement, reading with grammatical errors. All of a sudden, you give an assignment, this same student submits a perfectly written response. And you begin to wonder, when did this guy become this good? When you get to them on one-on-one session, I can use my brain. What I cannot do will amount to plagiarism and so on and so forth. But today, I was privileged to attend a workshop like this, organized by the NIEEE, and we had one of the promoters of AI as a resource person, one Bruno Ekeka. I think he's based in the US. It was a virtual conference workshop, and I participated. And after that workshop, my idea about the use of AI changed dramatically.
If I have no interest, I can never go blank on that. I will always resort to using AI to speed up whatever I want to do. So the point I'm trying to make is that AI has revolutionized the way knowledge is delivered. So, social institutions cannot be running away from AI when our own students are rushing to AI. Some using positively to solve problems so that we'll be able to guide our own students properly. And so, AI has now influenced the way knowledge is delivered, the way research is conducted, and even how societal challenges are solved. AI plays a lot of role in all these spheres, as we do now. In attempting to integrate AI into
our businesses as academics and those who work in the tertiary institution sector, we must have these three factors before us to worry about. One is ethical principles. I think that's a major issue. If you are working with AI, whether you are developing or using, you may at some point need data. You cannot develop AI without information without data. Virtually every AI model is run based on data fed into it, used to train it. And so for you to do that, you have to worry about data privacy. If you are giving out information about yourself to maybe a researcher or somebody who wants to solve a problem, who wants to get information, it is not every information anybody asks you that you give freely. That can also affect the way AI works for us. And so data privacy is very key. You have algorithmic bias. You know, if you want to collect data, maybe from all the attendees to this workshop, and maybe you select only one section of the population to train your AI, eventually that AI will exhibit similar bias as the predominant bias of the population you used to feed it. So that will create a challenge. And so for you to develop AI or use AI, you must ensure that such bias is not playing a role in your own AI solution. Then transparency. Transparency. If you are giving me data, I'm coming to you to collect data. I'm meant to tell you why I'm getting that data, so that you will give me accurate information based on what I want to do with that data. So it is wrong for you to give information to trick people into giving you information to train your AI. Those are some of the sources of errors with AI, and that's why you always want that AI can make mistakes. Whoever develops AI will always put that caveat to extricate him or herself from whatever risks you stand to face because you are using his own tool. Accountability is also key, but more importantly, the potential for job displacement. I think this is even a major issue, you know, in developing countries. People don't want to talk about AI. People are afraid of AI because they are believing that once we have more people having AI knowledge and able to use AI, they are going to lose their jobs. I bet you it's not only in Nnamdi Azikiwe University or in Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, where I come from. We have staff who perform certain functions which are supposed to be done with computers. But up till now, some of those functions are still done manually. Reason is simply because they don't have basic computer literacy skills. And no matter how you try to ensure that you computerize those services, they will ensure that it is frustrated. Not as if they don't want development to come, but because they are afraid that once you implement that in their own department or unit, they will become jobless. But that's a wrong perception. When we cultivate this culture of responsible use of AI, you can even find out that even the existing AI jobs, we don't even have enough hands to take them. Next, I'm spending time on this slide. I'm going to jump some, but I think this is very important that we get this. It's at the root of why we are having this discussion. Then we'll have contextual relevance. We say AI is garbage in, garbage out. If you train your AI with data from only one section of the set, you're going to run into problems. You can imagine when you go for a burial and you ask a time, but you did not train your AI with information on, morning hours. You are confusing the AI, and AI is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you feed in is what is going to return to you. Of course, semantic understanding. AI has gotten so advanced that Obunibo, AI today, if you tell yourself the truth, has become wiser than humans. But this is something that happened over a long time, developing, acquiring data, training and retraining, that no matter what information you feed to AI, in fact, sometimes some of them are quite good. You don't have any relevant information, they will tell you. And then suggest to you where you can get such information. But you must always humanize your own use of AI. Otherwise, you can also get it wrong, even with the best of AI tools. And then finally, avoiding exacerbating existing inequalities. Sometimes you may adopt use of AI because you want to move fast. You want to do things more accurately, efficiently, as the case may be. But if you lose sight of the inequality it could introduce in the system, you may run into trouble. Just like we talked about fear of job loss. Some people may have more skills than others, and others will feel redundant that they are no longer contributing. It may begin to affect the performance of that particular system. So while you are adopting AI, you have to do it measured in order not to introduce imbalance in the system. And so all we are discussing here, if we take that title, the way it is actually, even though we are attempting to limit it to those items I mentioned, teaching, research, administration, and community development, it's still a broad topic. So we had to limit it particularly to tertiary institutional context. I wouldn't know what was presented in the first. I believe must have talked about the branches of AI, so I'm not going to spend time on that. We have machine learning, natural language processing, we have computer vision, we have expert systems, deep learning, which is based on neural networks and fuzzy logic, evolutionary computation, swarm intelligence, cognitive computing, quite numerous of them, depending on where you are getting your information. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. That's the problem of attending functions late. One senator attended a function. Political appointees, politically exposed people, when you invite them to a function, they will give themselves like 2 hours. So you didn't know that day the function would start very early. And a priest spoke first and mentioned that the very first time he came to that parish, that the very first confession, I'm a Catholic, the very first confession he had was very bad. The very first person that came to confession was trying to paint a picture of the magnitude of sin committed by this particular person. He didn't call his name or her name, but he said it was terrible. But now that they are sending him off, that the parish people and the kind of confession he's hearing now is showing that people are getting better, things are improving, and that he has really done well in his work of evangelism. And so when the senator arrived, and he was called to the table, given microphone to make his speech, and he said, he thanked everybody, and said that he thanked God that he was privileged to be the very first person to go to confession to this particular priest. So it is something similar. I didn't even know that the first lecture had not taken place, and I'm already apologizing that I have missed some things in that lecture. And so, thank God it's not the kind of experience with the senator. So I will just make just one comment on each of these branches of AI. Machine learning uses algorithms that learn from data to make predictions or decisions. It's actually the major foundation of AI. Most of other branches sprung from this machine learning. So example application for machine learning could be fraud detection. For example, banks use machine learning to detect unusual transaction patterns and prevent fraud. You know it's possible. Sometimes you want to withdraw money from your account and the system flags something. It will be acting like it has caught a thief. That's why they will introduce all manner of protections so that you are the one trying to make those transactions. The system has been trained to take some actions when it sees something. Recommendation systems is also another use of machine learning, where you have platforms like Netflix, those of us who watch movies, or those of you who watch movies, and Amazon can suggest content or products based on user behavior. Just like, you know, there's this new company came into Nigeria, Temu. If you go there once and check one freezer, you will never rest. All manner of freezers will be coming to you, popping up on that, suggesting it to you. It is AI that actually does that. You have natural language processing, which enables machines to understand and generate human knowledge. Typical examples are virtual assistants. Even in Google, you have it, Google Assistant. Sometimes you may not even need to type something to check. You just talk, hello Google, do this for me, and it does. That's an application of NLP. You have computer vision, where you have a machine, humans, it looks at things and stores those information in its memory. When it sees anything like that, it can confirm that this is it or not. Something like that. That's application of computer vision. You have robotics, expert systems. Expert systems is also an important area. For example, you can have a system that you don't even need to see a doctor. Once you've done your test and so on, you just submit it to the expert system for medical diagnosis, and it can be as accurate, even more accurate than sometimes you have the human doctor attending to you. I'll skip this, end with responsible use of AI. Like we said, we look at it in teaching, in research, administration, and then community development. And so in teaching, AI has significantly influenced pedagogy.
Hello.
You know, pedagogy is the art and science of teaching, the method you want to apply to ensure you pass the right knowledge and that your your audience follows and grabs the knowledge you want to pass. The way you do that has significantly changed. The way knowledge is delivered has now been affected, of course, positively and of AI. So you can now have systems. We now have personalized learning. You know, sometimes those that did education, they have this method of teaching. You know, some of us began to teach because probably we did well in our first degree. We were co-opted as graduate assistants, or maybe assistant lecturer. Immediately you finish your master's. You know, from there we developed that culture and art of teaching. But there are professional teachers. My wife is a teacher. All the time you see her writing notes. I was like, this note, is it not the same note you used last year? And they will say, supervisors will come to mark them. And what are they looking at? They are looking at that pedagogy. How you intend to deliver that knowledge. Are you following the right procedures? What are your entry behaviors, goals, expected outcomes, and so on and so forth? So, if you're using AI, you need to factor those things in, no matter the method or how you want to, deploy it. But AI can give you an advantage. You may come into this hall now, and I have AI tool, for example. I will first of all maybe do like some very quick data collection, ask you some questions. Maybe I will use a Google form, collect information. You fill it, maybe 5 questions or so. With that, I will know the areas. The teacher just come to class, looks at the course outline. I've taught this one. Never go back to it. Whether anybody understood anything or not, continues to move ahead. That's not too good. With AI, you can actually avoid that. You have adaptive learning. Adaptive learning. Somebody has learned something, the way the person behaved, you now decide what to teach the person next. Sometimes you said, this week you're going to do this, next week you do this. But by the time, if you're using AI to collect data in that class, you may discover that you don't need to move to that particular one you have actually planned. AI may now help you to adapt to the needs of your own audience. And then democratize access is very key. Sometimes, not everybody, you may want to teach a class, and not everybody understands the same language you are speaking. So that can even, as you are presenting your lecture or whatever, translating to those who do not understand your own language, and that will still bring equity in ensuring that everybody is, moving at the same pace. You can have a lecturer come into a class and he tries to solve one problem, and you ask him a question. Sir, how did you derive this formula? And one of my very funny lecturers in those days will look at you and say, you see that? That is where the problem is. AI will not tell you that kind of thing. If he doesn't know, he will tell you, I don't know. Go to this place or go to that place. And so with intelligent tutoring systems and AI-driven platforms, it is now possible to assess student performance in real time and tailor the content to the individual needs of the students. So to ensure the use of AI in teaching, we must have clear pedagogical frameworks which will address those things I've mentioned. AI tasks must be linked to learning objectives, course policies, and safeguards. You don't just teach anyhow. There's a target you want to achieve. Your AI must address that. And then ensure that AI enhances academic integrity rather than undermine it. And that's a big challenge, within the tertiary institutions. Students will get things from AI. They won't even read it. It is the supervisor that will read it and correct. That's the challenge. Nobody wants to lift a finger to do anything. But if you take time to look at what AI is giving you, you will even begin to see the shortcomings of AI, and then you make up for that inadequacy. That makes that work original. That's why I said, if I make mistakes here, let us blame AI. Don't blame me, because I use AI to prepare. That's a wrong notion. If you make a submission, your name is there. In fact, in some universities abroad, you can't cite AI. Some are accepting, but in most, you cannot cite AI as your source. You can't reference AI. So it's your duty as a researcher to get the original source of what AI used to give you that information. You can do that. You can do that. And when you get that, you cite it. Once you cite the source of that material, you have freed yourself from plagiarism. And that's what we mean by responsible use of AI. Not ignoring it. You're not doing have information when every information you need are just either in your phone or on your laptop. Okay? And you're moving everywhere. In those days, we have students coming from Federal Polytechnic Awka to Unizik to come and look at their projects. They'll go and carry one, go to it's not only people in Awka, because even as unizik to collect their own. You see? So, but all of this information, you can get them on the... I've mentioned the key part of what we need to do in research. I'm rounding up. Our duty in trying to use AI responsibly in research will be that we must ensure data transparency. I mentioned that earlier. Avoid algorithmic bias. I mentioned it. Respect intellectual property, which is what I just explained, that you must cite the original sources from which AI gets the information. And then in administration, a typical example, I'm not going to waste time here, chatbots. I think Unizik is leading in that for now, and we are giving them from Ojukwu University a very hot purchase, and the delay more, we will overtake them. I'm sure Professor Onyenwe knows what I'm talking about. You are leading us in that, but while I will always keep on promoting my alma mater because I did my first degree and master's here, I'm a part of Ojukwu University. So it's a fair context. What we want is to lead the universities in the southeast. Maybe after Ojukwu University, Nnamdi Azikiwe will follow, or maybe Nnamdi Azikiwe will start, Ojukwu will follow and overtake them later. So whichever one, let's move ahead. And then responsible use in community development. There are so many things AI can help us do. If you go to the villages and collect data, you can use that data to train an AI platform that can help you to make decisions in that community. For example, issues of health concerns. AI can help to determine predominant diseases in that area, and then probably suggest solutions you may need to use to tackle such problems. If the MC will give me 1 more minute, I'll just give you an example. Google, Gemini, and so on. I use Copilot. I'm very comfortable with it. It is free. And so I tried to create, I said, do a block diagram for me for branches of AI. And it did that. I don't know if you're seeing that very clearly. Oh. Please, I wanted my slides to be showing, not my picture. It's okay. So he gave me a block diagram having only 4 branches, but it listed 6. So in doing the block diagram, it omitted 2. I didn't give it the 6, so on its own, it told me it has 6 branches. Now, give me a block diagram, graphical sketch of these branches to put in my slides. He gave me 4. And I prompted it again. I said, you seem to have missed 2. Please include the other 2. What did it do? You see what is there? It gave me now 8. You see? So, you must humanize your use of AI. That's the real deal. That's the real deal. So, assuming I am a lazy student, go on all the lecturer are here. You're supervising me. You're supposed to be guiding me. You know, you are making a mess of yourself. I'll just end with the call to action. AI is here. We have no other option than to embrace it and use it responsibly. In tertiary institutions, we should be able to embed AI literacy in our curricula, invest in digital infrastructure. Unizik is doing so well here, and we are coming up. We're learning from them. We have fostering interdisciplinary collaboration. AI will help you do that if you provide a platform for that. Developing institutional AI policies. By now, I believe Unizik must have their own AI policy. When I was head of intellectual property, we have developed ours, and we are now using it. Of course, NUC has a program for introducing AI into the university ecosystem in Nigeria. And finally, we need to train our educators, researchers. We need to engage communities. When you are making AI solutions, please Munife, Professor Azubika Aniedu, Professor Ike Chukwu Onyenwe, Professor Titus Okeke, and our own chairman of the committee. I'm a member of that committee anyway, Professor Okezie. You're all welcome to.
Good afternoon, our Vice Chancellor, ably represented by our own dear Professor Greg. Good afternoon, our Chairman, Professor Okezie, and my good friend, Engineer Professor Okezie, and my good friend, Professor Ilo, Director, ICT, COOU. Good afternoon, our dear participants. So, I will take you through AI in research, but I'm going to be very quick about that. I will do kind of introduction. I have 3 things that are currently going on, running concurrently. The CBT recruitment exercise, which I am also taking charge, is currently running on our faculty. Physical science is currently on workshop, and I am moderating morning session. I'm moderating morning session, so I have to. Yeah, and then here I am to talk about AI in research. Quickly, I want to introduce this so that we understand what AI components or AI devices or tools, what they are. So when you are using it, you know, if you are using it believing everything AI is telling you, hook, line, and sinker, it means that you have been deceived by AI. So, but I want you to just flow along with my slides quickly. I won't spend much time here. So I want to make this analogy using a walking stick to explain that AI is like an elderly man walking stick. Okay? So a walking stick supports elderly, giving them balance and confidence. In the same way, AI supports researchers, enhancing efficiency, stability, and insight, but does not replace human judgment. Look at this comparison. Provide balance. AI provides accuracy. Walking stick offers support. AI offers computational assistance. Walking stick enables longer journey and equally faster. You know, a walking stick cannot replace. In the same way, AI enables deeper research. Walking stick needs human guidance. It needs human guidance. AI needs human ethics and direction. And this is what we are trying to do in our committee, right? Chairman Abi? Yes. Because we want you to understand this, that AI needs human ethics and direction. You don't need to believe it hook, line, and sinker. If you do that, it means that you have been deceived by AI. AI empowers, stabilizes, and extends research ability. It still requires human wisdom, judgment, vision, meaningful inquiry, ethical guidance, and responsibility. I need to be very fast. So, for example, in data analysis, AI automates data cleaning and pattern what? Detection. I'm going to show you a little practical implementation of what this means. In linguistics, you have AI models analyze linguistic trends and what? Sentiments. Given data, AI can detect trends. And then in health, assist in diagnosis and drug what? Discovery. Social sciences, AI predict trends and behavioral insights. AI is the walking stick of modern what? Researcher. A tool of balance, extension, and what? Confidence. But just as walking stick cannot